Hi YouTube, welcome to another edition of Horror Hands, and I've got an interesting one for you today. For this video, we're going to be talking about The Exorcist. No, not that version, this version. The shameless scene-for-scene remake from Turkey, released just a year after the original Exorcist in 1974. This was Turkey's attempt to kind of recreate the Hollywood classic on a very small budget and out in the Turkish countryside. So how did they get on? Let's find out. So here we have the Turkish Exorcist, under its original title of Şeytan, which is Turkish for devil. And before I get into the film, if you're not aware, Turkey as a country is quite notorious for taking big budget Hollywood movies and remaking them for a Turkish audience. One of the most notable is Turkish Star Wars, which is a bafflingly strange film to watch. And that's the problem. When you go back and watch what Turkey have done, it's very much something's lost in translation, and they've kind of confused everything, and it's all just a little bit off and nothing quite makes sense. And it makes for a very entertaining, albeit unintentionally hilarious watch, which has kind of become the charm of these Turkeywood movies, and they've sort of carved out a little niche subgenre of their own. So when I came across Şeytan, the Turkish Exorcist, recently at HorrorCon, I thought I've got to check that out and just see what a mess of a film this must be. So I got a buddy of mine over, sat and watched it, and we were prepared to be kind of shocked and amazed by the sheer incompetence of this movie. So was this the hilariously bad mess of a film that we expected? Well, kind of no. We both spoke about the film, and I have to say, for most of it, we rather enjoyed it. There were things about this film where it's probably a bit too far to say they did well, but it was certainly an earnest attempt at recreating The Exorcist, arguably the greatest horror movie ever made, on a shoestring budget out in the sticks in Turkey. So a lot of what I saw on screen, I was sort of like, fair play for trying. So we'll get into this movie and let you know what I thought was good and let you know what was pretty bad. So Şeytan is just a scene-for-scene copy of The Exorcist. So I can't give it any credit for originality, because they've just taken the source material and acted it out again within a Turkish production. But there was a little bit of charm in that as well, because I was interested to see how some of the Exorcist scenes would play out in this no-budget Turkish environment. And it was kind of fun to see the nods, if you will, of the scenes that we know so well from The Exorcist played out rather clumsily in this Turkish movie. But all the themes are there. So obviously you've got the mum and her 12-year-old daughter who becomes possessed by a demon. You've got the Father Karras character whose mum is very unwell, and he's struggling with guilt over knowing that his mum's probably going to die soon and that he's not been there for her. You've got like the Father Merrin character out somewhere on an archaeological dig, the inspector that keeps coming up. All the characters are there, and I won't say play their part well, but they're there. One thing I did like about this was the casting. So everyone looked pretty good in the movie. Like nobody looked out of place. So, you know, the mum played her part well. I liked the Father Karras character. They've all got their own Turkish names in this. They haven't got the same names. The Father Merrin character was pretty good as well. And big shout out to the 12-year-old girl that was in this. I actually thought she was fantastic. She had some very striking facial features, which made her pretty captivating on screen. And then when she became demonic, I just kind of added to that a little bit. So big credit to her, and she went through it quite a bit as well, as Linda Blair did. So yeah, I was pretty impressed with the 12-year-old girl in this movie, which is, you know, again, pretty good going for a low budget Turkish movie. one of the things that did kind of detract from this movie was there is a religious ambiguity to this one, which I kind of thought they might have been, because the original Exorcist had a strong focus on Christianity, which I think made that movie so powerful. And I'm not even religious, but the focus of Christianity and faith and the struggle with faith was a really captivating element to that movie. And Turkey, I'm no expert here, so correct me if I'm wrong, but is a Islamic state. A lot of the population are Muslim, so I was kind of interested to see how they tackle the Christianity elements of this film. And short answer is they don't. They just skirt around it all and kind of leave religion out of it. So I was never too sure actually who the Merrin and Karras characters were in this. They're not priests, they're not men of the cloth or anything like that. The Father Karras character has written a book on exorcisms, that's why the mum brings him in. And the Father Merrin, I don't know if he's just an archaeologist or what, but he turns up as Father Merrin did and starts doing the whole, God this and God that, but he's not a priest. So yeah, there's a complete sort of shift from the religious aspect. It's just kind of shunned out the way and not mentioned, so you just have to kind of go with that and accept it for what it is. We do get the Tubular Bells music in this, which is nice to hear. They actually use it in this film more than what they do The Exorcist, so credit to them for that. And the exorcism scene itself towards the end, I would say it's done pretty well. It's pretty intense as the original was. It's nothing like on that level, but yeah, I was watching it thinking, this is pretty good. This is okay. It's an earnest attempt at recreating that movie. So yeah, I couldn't help but be somewhat impressed by it. The only thing that really lets this movie down, and really is its only source of unintentional humour, is the subtitles. They just, whoever's translated it doesn't quite understand English or Turkish. They're struggling with kind of their nouns and their vowels, and it's just all not quite right. So when characters are having these serious conversations, the subtitles are all a little bit derpy, which very much takes you away from the film, and that did get a laugh from me and my friend as we were watching this. But it's a film that is surprisingly played straight, just about holds its own in doing so. And I just found it to be a really interesting Z-grade movie, homaging The Exorcist, if you will. I enjoyed it more than Exorcist Believer. I'll put it that way. So to take from that what you want. But I don't know. I have to be careful because I have a real tolerance for bad movies. So I come on here and say this movie was okay, and then people with regular film taste are like, it was unwatchable. But yeah, if you have a tolerance for bad movies and you just want to see something a little bit out there, a little bit peculiar, Shaitan, the Turkish Exorcist, is a very, very interesting watch, and you can really see that they're trying. They wanna capture what William Friedkin made, but they're so far off. It's almost like, well, well done for trying. But yeah, having said that, there are a couple of scenes that were pretty creepy and were kind of intense, and I still like the makeup of the girl in this one. It's the subject the subject matter of The Exorcist is scary in itself, so you're working with some very strong material, which I think went in their favour, because there was still a bit of creepiness about the whole thing. And like I say, it's a scene for scene remake, so you still get kind of the vomit scene, the head twisting, the demonic face of the girl. It's all in there. It's just done on this weird low budget Turkish scale. So I just wanted to come on here for a little bit and talk about this really unique movie that I came across and watched and surprisingly enjoyed. I don't know. So let me know if you've seen this one. I'd love to hear from someone that's seen Shaitan and hear your thoughts on it. So thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.